Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Monday the 29th of January 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed up 0.3% today to 7,578 points, inching towards a new record. About 2/3 of the companies on the bourse rose, led by the energy stocks and the real estate investment trusts. Worst were the tech stocks, following a sell-off on Wall Street over the weekend. Among the large caps, National Australia Bank led the sector, jumping more than 1%. The big miners were mixed. BHP was down 1.4%. Following a tough ruling from a Brazilian court over the weekend, while Fortescue Metals was up 1%. James Hardie was among the best of the large caps, up 3.4%, while WiseTech Global and Xero both fell more than 2%. Auto parts retailer Bapcor is expecting a slip in profit in its upcoming half-year report, but investors liked the rest of the story. Its share price rose nearly 6% today, the best on the day. Gold Road's share price tumbled 18% after a disappointing quarterly update, with production lower due to delays accessing high-grade ore from the open pit. It was the worst of the top 200. Story number 2, the great tax sale or selling of the proposed tax changes continued today, with Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers stepping up to the pulpit. One thing he's definitive on is negative gearing. It's here to stay. He said the government is not contemplating or considering resurrecting the policies that it took to the 2019 election. Instead, the focus when it comes to tax and housing has been on incentivising build-to-rent properties with the tax breaks. That's according to Mr. Chalmers. Assistant Treasurer Stephen Jones was also out and about, appearing on Sky News to spruik the government's changes to Stage 3 tax cuts. He said the revised cuts have gone down well so far with voters, and Senator Jackie Lambie urged the Liberals to smarten up, her words, and do a deal with Labor over changes. She told Sky News the deal between the two major parties would limit the Greens' ability to push for the government to go even further in its tax policy. Story number 3, Woolworths said its New Zealand business and Big W discount stores are trading worse than expected, and it will take a $209 million loss on its shareholding in Endeavour Group. The New Zealand business just isn't working as well as expected, and earnings are likely to be about 40% below last year. The Big W business is expected to be materially down as well. The retailer has a 9.1% interest in Endeavour, which owns liquor stores and hotels, and was spun out of Woolies. Now, essentially, the write-down reflects a different accounting treatment. That's what the Endeavour write-down's about. All up, there's about $1.7 billion of write-downs. Story number 4, former Labor MP Greg Combet, who previously was Climate Change Minister, will replace Peter Costello as the chair of the Future Fund. The climate change job makes his appointment extra interesting because Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers has suggested the superannuation sector should play a more active role in the funding of the energy transition. Chalmers said it's important for the Future Fund to get fresh thinking and leadership. Mr. Combet has been chair of the government's Net Zero Economy Agency, which is responsible for ensuring an orderly transformation to a zero-carbon energy system. And finally, story number 5, the US President Joe Biden faces growing pressure to confront Iran directly after the country's proxies killed 3 American soldiers in a drone strike in Jordan over the weekend. Bloomberg's reporting that it's clear that the strike, which also wounded at least 34, will force a stronger response than what the US has done so far in the weeks since Hamas militants attacked Israel on October 7. Iran said it had no connection and had nothing to do with the attack, according to Iranian media. The US says Iranian-backed militants attacked troops stationed in the northeast of Jordan near the Syria border. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 29th of January, 2024. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with the Tuesday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.